Good morning. We are here in Santa Fe, New Mexico at Rio Chama, and we're right next door to the Roundhouse, and we are here with Senator Bill Scherer. How are you, Senator?
I'm doing great. Welcome to the Roundhouse.
Welcome to the Roundhouse. Yes. How has everything been going so far in the Roundhouse?
Well, you know, it's round, so we go around in circles, and that's what happens. But it's so far been a pretty normal session, but we're at the end, and that's when things get crazy.
Right. Now, as a senator, first tell us, what district do you represent?
I'm District 1, which is essentially Farmington, New Mexico, and a little bit west of Farmington. Okay. So the northwest corner of the state. Okay,
and what are some of the priorities for your constituents?
Well, we're obviously an oil and gas production area. We have coal mines and power plants, and so those are big deals. Of course, education is always a big deal, no matter where you are in the state, right. and roads. And so those are the things that people up there worry about.
Right. And as a whole, what are some big issues that you're working on to improve this state?
Well, the big one is a complete reboot of the tax system. Okay. I believe that our tax system has gone crazy. In fact, I call it the rattlesnake system. There's so many loopholes in tax credits and deductions and new taxes that it's like walking through a pit of rattlesnakes. You can't walk through it without something biting you.
Right.
And so what I'm trying to do is clean all that up. I call that the Roadrunner system, because Roadrunner is not only the state bird, but Roadrunners clear out rattlesnakes and clear the road so that we can get our economy on the right track.
Now, if I'm a small business in New Mexico, about how many taxes might I be imposed, and how many taxes are out there on businesses?
Well, the big taxes, of course, are the corporate income tax and the personal income tax. Mm-hmm. But then there's all kinds of other taxes. There's what we call a compensating tax. So if you bought something from out of state, you're supposed to pay tax on it in state mm-hmm. When you bring it in. Right. And for simple things like a pair of shoes that you bought in Durango or something, most people aren't looking. But yeah. if you're bringing in $1 million piece of equipment for mining operation or for oil production right. or for Intel or any of those other big companies we have, it becomes a big deal. And so they look at those and say, gosh, why should I put that $1 million piece of equipment in New Mexico when I can put it somewhere else?
Right.
Then there's all kinds of other taxes, vehicle excise tax and insurance premium tax. There's a litany of about 100 little taxes.
Wow. So with that many taxes, what is the environment for businesses? I mean, is New Mexico a business-friendly state?
I say no. No. But what we've done is we've now created 348 exemptions, credits, or deductions to our tax system, because businesses come to us all the time and say, I can't do business in New Mexico by paying all this tax. And so we create a new credit for them, or a new deduction, or a new exemption, and let them out of that tax. Yeah. And then all that does really is raise taxes for somebody else. So if you're a business owner, you have to have your own herd of attorneys to help you get through this maze of tax policy. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have your own herd of attorneys, then you get bit by the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, well, nobody wants to deal with that.
No.
Now, speaking of business, so you would say that's your #1 priority when it comes to helping businesses in New Mexico?
Absolutely. And not only business, this will help everybody. So, because just your own personal income taxes you've got to deal with, you've got to try to figure out what you might qualify for, and we've got a lot of little things out there that people qualify for. Mm-hmm. Most of them don't even know it, though.
Right.
So they're not taking advantage of it. But if we can simplify the tax code, then everybody's happy. Business is happy, individuals are happy, and the state of New Mexico is happy.
Great. So this tax isn't just for businesses. It's for everybody in the state, working families.
Everybody. What this is a 2% gross receipts tax. So every time you spend $1, you owe $2 to the government, or 2 cents to the government. I'm sorry. Okay. So 2%. And so essentially businesses become the tax collectors, so we don't need a bunch of state tax collectors trying to figure out how to do any of this. And it's simple, and it's paid every time you do something. Mm-hmm. Now, some of the concerns are, wait a minute, you're going to tax food? Yes, at 2%. So we're going to tax a gallon of milk at 2%. But with no personal income tax, what we found is every time that we've done the math with somebody, whether it's a big business, a little business, or an individual, when we actually sit down with them and do the math, they're paying about the same amount of tax they're paying today overall, It's just, this is simple, it's easy to account for, there's no paperwork, and there's no heartache.
Wow. Well, it sounds like a great bill. Thank you for all of your hard work in Santa Fe. Now, on your personal life, what do you do? I mean, this is a 60-day session.
Yes.
Besides this, what do you do for work?
Well, I own CBF Services, which is, we sell credit reports, we're a debt collection agency, and we teach a financial literacy course.
Oh, great.
So that's what we do. And while I'm here, my son does a great job of taking care of the business. In fact, I think he would rather I stay here all the time.
Well, that's great because it's so tough right now. The session is crazy. It's a hard time in Santa Fe, and you have divided houses right now. So that probably makes it more difficult, this session.
Well, it certainly makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
So, you know, in the past, you knew where all the votes were. Now we're kind of guessing at where the votes might be. But
right.
So it's more fun.
Right. And we have a minute left. So on education, what's maybe your top priority for education?
You know, I think one of the things that we have really failed at in education is we've continued to drive the decision making further and further up the chain. So it used to be in the classroom, then it was at the district, now it's at the state, and it's really at the federal level, this decision making. I would like to see all of that pushed back down to the lowest level that we can push it back down to. Right. But every time somebody wants money, we go to the people who have more money, and that's further up the chain, and those all that money comes with strings. So how do you undo that? Well, after we get 2% tax done, then I'll fix that one.
Yeah, we'll save that for another interview.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Senator Scher, for taking time out of this busy session. We really appreciate it.
Well, and I want to thank you for asking. And so here is the 2% tax coin, because everybody that I talk to about that gets one of those coins. Go to New Mexico, nmtaxreboot.info, and you can learn all about it.
All right. Thank you so much. Here from Santa Fe, New Mexico at Rio Chama Steakhouse. We'll see you next time. Thanks.